They're saying we're stepping in and we're actually helping Anthropic. To be fair, in his defense, Sam Altman did come out in support of Dario Amodei, and these guys do not like each other. They're not fans of each other. In Delhi the other day, there was an AI summit and they refused to hold hands. They were both standing there awkwardly with their hands in the air while everyone else on stage, the Prime Minister of India, gripping hands in solidarity. Dario Amodei and Sam Altman refused to touch each other. Sam Altman did come out in defense of Dario, kind of saying, no, I see what they're doing and we do need to deploy this safely. This could be a smokescreen. This could be for PR. Maybe. I think it's complicated enough without having to layer in additional conspiracy theories. So I think this is probably in good faith. We want to de-escalate things between the Department of War and the US AI labs is a sensible thing to do. It's a strategic thing to do. A good future is going to require real and deep collaboration between the government and the AI labs. We ask that the same terms be made available to all AI labs and that the government would try to resolve things with Anthropic. The current state is a very bad way to kick off this next phase of collaboration between the government and the AI labs. If Anthropic go down, if it ceases to exist, it could pop the whole bubble. So OpenAI and Anthropic are relying on external investment to continue building their models, to continue buying GPUs, paying for cloud compute, paying for inference, deploying it for us. Anthropic, for example, are running at a loss when they give us a subscription. It's costing a lot of money for them to provide all of that inference. If Anthropic suddenly gets removed from the game, that's going to have a knock-on effect on the markets and confidence in artificial intelligence as an investment. Sam Altman, this is purely cynically, it doesn't matter what he thinks about Anthropic, doesn't matter what he thinks about Dario Amodei. He needs it to remain stable. He needs confidence in artificial intelligence. He doesn't need stuff like this rocking the boat because he needs continued investment into artificial intelligence. Whether it's going into Anthropic, whether it's going into OpenAI is less important than the fact that it is coming in at all. So he needs this stable. Escalation and fighting and the destruction of Anthropic could destabilize what is arguably a financial bubble that we're in right now. Next question is, why could you reach a deal when Anthropic could not? Did you sign the deal they wouldn't? These are very direct FAQs. I'm glad they're dealing with them. Based on what we know, because remember, everything is behind the scenes, we don't really know, we believe our contract provides better guarantees and more responsible safeguards than earlier agreements, including Anthropic's original contract. We think our red lines are more enforceable here because deployment is limited to cloud only, keeps our safety stack working in the way we think is best, and keeps cleared OpenAI personnel in the loop. We don't know why Anthropic could not reach this deal, and we hope that they and more labs will consider it. So they're saying it's not because we're coming in and promising the Department of War will play ball where Anthropic will not. Instead, they're saying, actually, no, we have an even stronger agreement with even more red lines, and they're more enforceable, and it's cloud only. So this is even safer than the Anthropic deal, and we don't know why Anthropic couldn't make this deal. Do we believe them? Potentially. It sounds very crude, but the fallout between Anthropic and the Department of War could just be personality based. So Dario is less diplomatic than Sam Altman, let's put it that way. I could see a reality where he rubbed them the wrong way, and then egos in the Department of War, Pete Hegseth, and then the president, meant that this escalated in a way that OpenAI are better able to navigate and to make the right promises at the right time and the right concessions at the right time and just to smooth their way through. They are very good at this. They're doing well, and they are one of the largest models and companies on this planet with AI because of this. They are a very well-oiled machine, whereas Anthropic are a bit more scrappy. And I could imagine Dario and the researchers and the team at Anthropic potentially pissing off the Department of War. It could be something that basic. We won't know because it's all behind closed door, but this means that OpenAI is able to secure a deal. Do you think Anthropic should be designated as a supply chain risk? No. And we have made our position on this clear to the government. Sam came out in support of Dario and Anthropic, saying this is a problem. Again, this comes back to the stability of the market. This puts a huge amount of pressure on the AI market as a whole and makes it look very shaky, very unsteady. And if people stop putting money in, the whole thing could come crumbling down. Will this deal enable the Department of War to use OpenAI models to power autonomous weapons? No. Based on our safety stack, our cloud-only deployment, the contract language, the existing laws, regulation, and policy, we are confident that this cannot happen. We will also have OpenAI personnel in the loop for additional assurance. Will this deal enable the Department of War to use OpenAI to conduct mass surveillance on US persons? No. Based on our safety stack, this has gone through the lawyers. Based on our safety stack, the contract language and existing laws that heavily restrict Department of War from domestic surveillance, we are confident that this cannot happen. We will also have OpenAI personnel in the loop for additional assurances. So the lawyers are now giving the same answer here. The PR people and the lawyers will be sticking to this line. So I will put the whole thing, because this goes on for a while, in the newsletter. There is a lot to digest here, like a lot going on. Plus, it will continue. Like, it's now Monday. We will find out what's going to be happening. There will be more chaos. There will be more drama. America is now at war as well. So that's a new development since then. So we have no idea what's going to be going on. And unfortunately, with these videos, I do these lives and then the processed version of the video and the short versions come out the next day. Everything's moving so fast that those videos are already out of date by the next day, which is very frustrating, but it is what it is. A big question that I would have is whether the government will get a separate model or use a public model. I addressed this just before you came on, I think, Zed. So Ethan Mollick made the really important point here, and I think it's worth readdressing, that the government doesn't have access to better special models. They don't have Opus 5. It just doesn't exist. He's probably using worse models because of the additional layers of security and checks. So when a new model comes out from Anthropic or ChatGPT, we get it immediately. If you're paying your $20, if you're paying your $100 a month, you get the best model. That model will be released and it will have to go through procurement. It will have to go through checks and balances inside of the Department of War and whatever the government department is. So they might actually be using a worse model than us. But he's pointing out there isn't like a secret better model. They're not using AGI in the Pentagon. They are just using Opus 4.6 or Opus 4.5 maybe. We need to keep that in mind. It's not a special super brain. He points out the economics of model training as such. The lab needs to release the big models widely. They cannot generate returns from always holding back their best models so that one customer uses them. It's not plausible for them to create a new model, give it just to the Department of War, and then release it to the public 6 months later. They can't do that. They need to be constantly releasing stuff, constantly making you more money, constantly getting more investment. They don't have the luxury of doing this just for one customer. Fine-tuning and specialized SLMs are useful, but they do not expand the ability frontier. So they could provide to the Department of War, potentially more fine-tuning can be done on it, but that's not making it better. That's just constraining it into a certain set of tasks, which will make it better at those tasks, but it doesn't suddenly make it an AGI or anything more than what was provided. Someone said the difference was that the OpenAI version wasn't enforceable and Anthropic's was. So you just give a very strongly worded sounding contract that is non-enforceable, knowing that it won't be enforced, whereas Anthropic might have been less strongly worded, but more specific and therefore more enforceable.